Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning to my EU friends. Shout outs to Happy Cat. Your boy, fresh out the shower, wet hair, drits coming at you with a nothing content stream. Let's get it. Obviously, no chapter this week, so we're just going to try and spit it. I figured, I just kind of felt like talking to you guys. I had a nice time chilling with Eric and Christian from the Web Force podcast. Shout outs to them. And I just wanted to stream. Felt like talking. Shout outs to Brago for getting 50k subs for his BDA Law channel. Everyone's been giving him shout outs, which he deserves. It's really nice to see Brago, someone I respect greatly, finally get the attention that I think he always deserved. So hopefully he can keep this up. I know that Brago has lots of ambitions when it comes to YouTube, so I look forward to seeing where it will go. What's up, Yorich, Joe, Shadow, Muffin, Axel, Fiji, Bootstrap Bill. I thought there was going to be a reverie this week. We still have not even decided to. We haven't even figured out what the hell's going on, honestly. We still don't know who is hosting the reverie. We don't know when it's going down. We wanted it to be earlier. We wanted it to be during this week, but it just never happened. No one's been decisive with anything. It is what it is. What's up, Papa John's? I think I saw you in the comments section for a random. Oh yeah, Papa John's. I saw you in the comments section for the recent Smash tournament with Mango and Zane, I believe. You what's up, Link? Rainin/Memento. Have I read Edge Dancer? I have not. I still have yet to read Edge Dancer. I decided not to read it because I wanted to get to the third volume of Stormlight as fast as humanly possible, and I had heard that Edge Dancer wasn't massively important to Stormlight. It does help, but I wouldn't be missing anything. So I knew y'all YouTubers only acted tight on streams. That's a fact. It depends on who you're talking about. Depends on who you're talking about. I have had zero just will to do anything this week. I've been lazy, much like normal. Nothing really different, but Big Left got dumpstered. Yeah, he got absolutely. Eric, my boy. I don't know how many of you guys have seen the diss tracks between Jack and Dame Lillard, but I've been listening to those basically whole week, and they're actually pretty good. Although I feel like the winner of them is really, really obvious. But the comment sections and a lot of the videos I've been watching have been absolutely crazy. Am I uploading this? Probably not. Probably not. That Name poster is never getting replaced. Nope. I would only add to it. Rugby World Cup on. I'm hype as fuck for this afternoon. Oh yeah, rugby. Rugby. What did I do? Didn't do anything, man. How's my new job? It's been treating me well. It's been treating me well, honestly. I don't really have anything to complain about. It hasn't been super high pressure. I'm taking it at my own pace, and I'm slowly learning. So it's essentially perfect. You check out Solo Leveling. It's on a Gemini's box. Like, I have read 34 chapters of Solo Leveling, and after the 34th chapter, I actually dropped the series because, and I can go into this if you want, but I kind of got the feeling after having read so many webtoons, that it was going in a complete direction that I did not like. It felt like it was falling victim to the same mistakes that a lot of other webtoons fall to. Dame's diss, yeah. Dame obviously won the rap battle because like the entire essence of their beef was the fact that Dame said he was a better rapper than Shaq, and the only thing that was really talked between them was NBA stuff. But Shaq recorded his stuff on a Nokia phone, and his flows, his disses, and how intensive his rhyming scheme was just It was nowhere up to par to Dame's. Maybe just can replace with a Mihawk poster if Mihawk defeats someone like an Admiral. A Mihawk poster would eventually be coming as well. Actually, I was also debating at some point in times, if I get enough money, I would request a famous YouTuber to craft me an IRL version of the Dragon Slayer from Berserk with a stand, and I would just have a giant ass sword in the background of my Dragon Slayer. Maybe whenever I get my own place, of course. Oh, so what's up, Fiji? I didn't realize this. I'm so used to your Twitter handle. Yes, Lost Children is. I mean, I actually think Lost Children is one of my favorite arcs ever. I would give it a 9 or a 10 out of 10. What hair? That's right. Just got out of the shower. Is Lost Children underrated? Yeah, I've seen a lot of decisive opinions about Lost Children. Some people think it is irrelevant story, but I still think it was amazing. What are the webtoon mistakes? I think the thing with webtoons is because it's not as big as manga, they tend to lose sight of their purpose too early in the process for their story. Because something I've seen is that the vision for where the series is supposed to go isn't necessarily there with webtoons, because they start out as a is it going to work question mark kind of thing, and then they don't really have their shit figured out. So for Solo Leveling, I think that the pacing of it was so ridiculous and the character changes so fast and so uncalled for that it kind of ruined the aesthetic and the appeal of what drew me personally into Solo Leveling to begin with. Um, and it just felt like it was becoming like a beat 'em up shonen with no depth whatsoever, and I didn't like that. The art was good, but the story itself, I mean, those type of stories where it's like, oh, I fell into a world and now I have video game powers. They aren't that great in terms of story to begin with, and Solo Leveling just, I don't know, man. I think it just fell away from what made it unique. Who cares about two grown men rhyming at each other? I mean, it's intense, man. Yes, Roni. I'll never be able to swing it. I don't care about not swinging it. I just want it. Thoughts on Kimetsu no Yaiba potential? I have not seen Kimetsu no Yaiba. From the panels I have seen of Yaiba, it looks average to me. Not something I would particularly get into, but in the West, with how anime is now, I think it will be a fan favorite for a long time. Um, but I think its short life will be something that it won't be able to compare to other series with. Just my opinion. We'll see where it goes. I think Yaiba will have a short period of popularity. I don't know if it's going to last though. But I'll be able to give a more in-depth opinion if I had actually. Also, what's up, Sen? I am doing. Other than Guts, who is my favorite MC in manga? Other than Guts, manga. Stevo, my boy. What's going on, man? I don't know who my favorite MC. I would have to think about it. No one jumps into my mind right away. Have I ever checked out the legendary Moonlight Sculptor? Yeah, I've seen the first handful of chapters for it. It was interesting to. If you could, would you change the direction of Griffith's character? It depends on where he ends up. Right now, I think it's perfect. I would change the execution of some stuff, but overall, I think it's very well done. Because I mean, the thing I would change is the substance of the Griffith chapters. I think they get criticized for a valid reason. Did I hear the My Hero movie trailer spoiled both anime and manga readers? Really? Really? Justice, I guess. Kizaru's strongest admiral thoughts. With Akainu still being alive, I don't think there's really much supporting Kizaru being. Did I see Kizaru being alive? Akainu. With Akainu being alive, I don't think there's much to support Kizaru being the strongest at this time. Gaiba is going to last at least more years. It's getting a movie place of a season 2, and then there are multiple arcs later. Multiple arcs being animated after. We'll see. I mean, Gaiba may get that trendy spot, but we'll see how it holds up. You said Jump. It's an MC from Jump. I don't know about that. Kaneki? Ooh, Kaneki. Kaneki is one of my favorites, but like, here's the thing. Have you guys ever gotten to the circumstance where I feel like you read so much manga that you actually forget a lot of it? Because that's the case for me. I've read a lot of smaller one-offs of manga that I've greatly enjoyed, but they always had these really, really weird long names, and I just always forget. So that's why I'm not definitive with my second favorite of anything. I know Guts is by far my favorite MC ever. Why do you like or the Dofi? Oh, well, this could go back to my Twitter. Also, Sage. Hi, Sage. But there's many reasons why I like more than Dofi. And going to my Twitter post, the thing that I quoted was who I thought the best antagonists were out of the four: Crocodile, Dofi, Katakuri, and Lucci. And I had it as Lucci, Crocodile, Dofi, and Katakuri in that order in terms of most effective to least effective antagonist. Now, in terms of favorite characters, it also goes that way as well. Crocodile and Lucci, I switch in between. But in terms of playing the role as an antagonist, I feel like Crocodile and Lucci put much better than Dofi and Katakuri. Significantly better, especially in the arcs. What's up, Leonardo? Apparently, the My Hero author let the studio adapt an arc that's endgame stuff, which he doesn't want to do anymore. But how does that make sense? He doesn't want to do end stuff in the manga anymore? That's pretty weird. Horikoshi said that this movie will be the last My Hero, so the series is named. Yo, I actually, this is not because I don't like My Hero, but I like the fact that Horikoshi is ending the series sooner rather than later. That tells me a few things about the structure of the series. It's better to end at that point than keep extending it for long periods. Um, Especially for the type of story My Hero is, where there's not really a lot to hold it over, 500 chapters. I feel like that's a very, very smart choice on his. Ritz, what would you like to see from Luffy to better protagonist growth? Did I see Morge's new video? No, I have not had the chance to watch Morge's new. I try to catch as many as I can, but is my voice cutting? Maybe it's because I'm too far away from the mic. Is this better? What's up, Christian? Katakuri was closer to a love interest rather than an antagonist. I actually agree with that. Favorite seinen other than Berserk? As of right now, that would have to go to Tokyo Ghoul. Tokyo Ghoul is in my top 5. Where, I don't know, but Tokyo Ghoul is in my top 5. I just spent last week trying to stop shooting myself in the face after reading Naruto Shippuden. I mean, the beginning half of Shippuden is actually pretty good in my opinion. It's just the Naruto ended horribly. It's better. Yeah, it was probably because I was too far away. If you guys didn't hear some of the things I was saying, you can just ask me again. I'll repeat them. Horikoshi definitely has my respect for not trying to stretch the story. Yeah, that's how you know. That's how you can tell. Like, I wouldn't say it defines what the quality of the series is, but you know there's a certain vision behind it, where an author isn't tempted by media success to just extend the series because. Just so you get the feeling that Morge is a contrarian. To a certain degree, I think he is, and I don't think he would deny that. I think that's kind of the basis of what his channel is built off of, being a contrarian. But a lot of us are. I am a contrarian to an extent. Dragged down for a reason. It's not a bad thing to be a contrarian because, like, there are levels of being a contrarian where a lot of the things he says counteract things other people have said. But being a contrarian in a negative light, and this is no, I love you, brother, but it would be like Ty, where Ty's a contrarian because he will disagree with things he doesn't even believe in. Thoughts on Attack? Attack on Titan's a weird series for me. I think I have to go ahead and reread it because I was actually a big fan of Attack on Titan, and I've talked about this before in many other streams, including the last time I streamed. I became disenfranchised with Attack on Titan as soon as the mystery of the Titans was revealed. I thought for me it was very dissatisfying, because what kept me into Attack on Titan was the lore and mystery of the world, not the characters. I am not a big fan of any individual character in Attack on Titan. Um, so what was really keeping me into the story was the mystery behind the Titans. So that kind of being explained in the way that it was, it kind of only left the characters there. And after, I won't spoil too much, but there was a character death that I felt nothing for. So I was like, maybe I need to reevaluate where I am in Attack on Titan because I stopped reading after that chapter because I didn't care. So I think I might have to go back and reread Attack on Titan to better find out what I think about the series. I have to start Tokyo Ghoul after Kingdom. Oh, Kingdom and Tokyo Ghoul, very good choices, Feed. Very good choices. Have I read Golden Kamuy? I have not. Why do people love Attack on Titan so much? I mean, it kind of has especially in the West, but it kind of has everything that you would normally like in a story. Uh, Mystery, world building, drama, there's romance as well. It does everything to a high level for the most part, aside from the art, but people can sacrifice the art of a story if the actual substance of it is there. People are very much inclined and very much love reading about monsters. You will find this is like a certain archetype and mythological thing that ties mankind to stories, is that they have a great fear and interest in the unknown and things that are kind of mysterious like that. So when Attack on Titan started out with that premise, I mean, there's a reason why zombies are kind of like, fucking at the top of what people love to see. There's a reason why Attack on Titan found huge success as soon as it started. Sage says, "Have you checked out Promise Neverland? I'm sure you've been asked about it or I'm being dumb, but yeah, have you?" Actually, yes, I have, Sage. I read I don't know where it is at now. I kind of gave it a break because I caught up to it on the week to week process, and I have a habit of once I catch up to a manga in the week to week process, I have a hard time since I'm so engaged with One Piece to continue to read the same manga week by week consistently over a long period of time. And I kind of gave Promise Neverland a break, but I very much enjoy the Promise Neverland. I've heard that it gets dicey right after where I kind of accidentally basically dropped it. I'm not sure if that's true or not. I've heard some things that people did not like about the main character. Um, but I think Promise Neverland is a good series. Yeah, I've been recommended many times to check out Vinland Saga. I will eventually. But Mikasa though, outside of Mikasa being like attractive, I mean she's eh. I've heard that things get interesting with Mikasa later. I would have to look into it. But I think Eren is a top tier MC. I I have very little knowledge of what goes on in Attack on Titan past the point that I've read. But based on everything I've heard about the series, Eren's kind of like the shit right now, and people really really like him. Eren always had the potential. I liked actually where Eren was going. I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, but after the time skip, I liked Eren's character where he was going. I did not really like Eren prior to that point in time, but I think that was kind of the intention. Um, but I would have to read the story to analyze it. Yeah, hold up, Dritz. Is the MC of your story named Walker? Only reason I asked is because my MC's last name is Walker. It's a placeholder name. A lot of the aspects of the story that I'm trying to create take inspiration from other stories. I had not decided on my MC name yet, but Walker is a name that I took from Walker Bow, who is a druid from the Shannara series written by Terry Brooks. I like that character quite a bit, and I'm using it as a placeholder for my MC's name. Chris, do you think the Revolutionary Army has someone as strong or stronger than Sabo besides Dragon? I don't, actually. Eric says Morge has strong views on his thinking. I've talked to Morge a lot, so I would agree with that. We are more open to different ideas. Also, he doesn't like the fight or defend his point of view. He usually says, let's wait and see. I guess it depends on what you're talking about. But yeah, depending upon what you think, what you're arguing essentially, yeah, Morge is very much just talk about the idea, but don't necessarily debate it, which is completely fine. That's just he doesn't like doing that kind of stuff, which is great. Sen says, I agree. Just Attack on Titan doesn't really have any good characters aside from like Eren, but that's only of what's currently happening. See, I'm kind of out in the dark on what's currently happening. I love Berserk, but Attack on Titan is better and far more consistent in quality. Really, that's interesting. I guess I don't know what your opinion on Berserk is, Joe. But I would say that I've read past the time skip. I would say that nothing in up to that point in time in Berserk is better than most of Berserk's arcs. And Attack on Titan is better than almost anything in Berserk. But I'm a Berserk fanboy, so take it as you will. What I think about JoJo's, I have not read JoJo's, so I cannot form an opinion on it. I have heard from people that know me though that I would not like JoJo's because of like plot inconsistencies. I can't verify that, obviously. What's up, Mayo? Have I seen Stampede? I have not. I have not, and I'm not sure if I'm going to. I've said this before, and this has nothing to do with me being the drag down. I'm not a big fan of One Piece movies because I feel like the One Piece movies are like less. They're not as quality as like the ripoffs of arcs that they usually are based off of. I might watch Stampede. We'll see. I'm not sure yet. I also like. I to be honest with myself, I'm a little bit bitter about Stampede because of Wano. But I'm not holding it against Stampede. I'm holding it against Wano. Berserk has me completely absorbed. I've seen Fiji. I've been just like sitting in bed at night, just like waiting for updates from you. Sage says Promise Neverland got wild, but it's starting to get back on track, and I'm hoping it ends well too. Yeah, that's kind of the main thing. I don't know. I've talked about this a lot, Sage. I don't know if you agree, but I think that ending a series well is a very, very, very hard thing to do. A lot of series don't usually do it well or do it in a memorable fashion. Talk to me about the Clippers. The Clippers. I mean, what people think about the Clippers is basically what I think about the Clippers. I think they're going to be, title contenders this season, or they should be theoretically. We'll see how it plays out in actuality with injuries and stuff like that because they're always prone to do that. Same with the Nets. Kyrie in 8 years has missed like 150 plus games. A lot. Um, I don't think the Clippers are going to win. Yep. Dritz Aaron has some of the best development I have seen in the last 15 or so chapters. Ooh, that is very, very interesting. Have I ever watched Heroic 8? It's not ringing any bells. People like Aaron right now the same reason people liked Black Reaper Kaneki. Ooh, okay, that kind of gives me an idea of what's going on. Just do you think Sabo is already on Admiral level? Fujitora seems to have gotten messed up. Yeah, I I said before everything. If you guys go back, you can go ahead and check. Even in the power rankings, I said that I put Sabo near Admiral level. I think he's kind of like close to touching that level. He's not quite there, but he's like he can contend much better than most people can. I think. I remember when I was there, where Dritz was in the storm making process. It was the first time in my life I was stressed. Oh well, I mean, I'm not taking writing super seriously, Raining, so I'm not like super stressed. But I have lots of ideas. Dritz, what are three low key moments that didn't get talked about enough in Berserk that you really love and get talked about enough? Well, I am a very, very, very big fan of the Lost Children arc. Um, like that arc it's hard for me to describe how much I really, really like that arc. But something I don't think it's talked about enough in Berserk is actually Farness as a character. And PG's in the chat, so I'm not going to go into detail. But there used to be a lot of hate about Farness as a character, but she is ridiculously developed, and especially during the without spoiling it, the burden she carries later on in the series, she's kind of like how the basis of Sakura's character would have been if it was done good. What's up, Jeff? It's live react to JoJo. I might have to. If Oda starts a new manga after One Piece, am I gonna read it? Depends on what happens with One Piece. Depends on how the ending is. I was very, very disappointed with Naruto, and I did not read Boruto as a result of it. Which you probably won't believe me, but consistency and plot holes don't matter that much in JoJo. 90% of the time, they don't matter and don't ever affect the writing of each part. I mean, there are plot holes in like most stories. It just depends on the size of the plot hole. I mean, I think it depends on what I'm going with. Like, I don't go into every series expecting it to beat my highest standard of GOAT tier, what I consider amazing. So I can sit down and totally just enjoy JoJo's. So it's Big Mom is the strongest person in the story, bar none. I disagree with that. Just what do you like more about Zoro in the post time skip, and what do I not like about him? Do I like anything more about Zoro in the post time skip? I like his design. I like that he checked Luffy a couple of times. But outside of that, there's really not much with Zoro. Same with many of the Straw Hats. Zoro hasn't really done anything or really been a part of the plot since the time skip has begun. So I would say that's probably the issues I do not like Zoro. He's basically been non-existent so far post time skip. Yo, what's up, Lothar? Favorite Gundam series? Ooh, like Destiny. That's automatically that's like objectively incorrect. Gundam Wing, I think, will probably be my favorite. I should read Haikyuu at one point in time. Yeah, I have a tendency of scratching my chin quite a lot. Just what is one character in Berserk you didn't like on your first read but loved on your second read through? Slug Baron, which is really odd. I'm actually a fan of Baron Slug. I don't. He doesn't have an actual name, but he's the second apostle Guts comes across. He has a redemption arc where he chooses eternal damnation over sacrificing his daughter for more eternal life. And I actually kind of like how his character arc came and went, and like the emotion and guilt he had with that, how he held on to his daughter as like his basically the last part of his humanity. And yeah, he had a fractured relationship with her as a result. I actually like Baron Slug. There are very few plot inconsistencies in JoJo. There are, but not what people make out. I mean, it's not. Even if there were plot inconsistencies, Christian, it's not like that's going to prevent me from reading the series because I have read far worse and downright bad series and was able to enjoy them. So I'm almost positive I could enjoy JoJo. It's what is this series? KHR versus Naruto. Kingdom Hearts. Wait, I haven't seen your 953 and 954 reactions. Oh, thoughts on Enma? Um, I did not like chapters 953 and 954 Fiji. Um, and Emma's whatever. The fact that Emma exists is fine. I don't really like how it was done or how it was executed, but it as an idea is completely fine by me. It's what do you like and don't like with Jinbei? I would say the thing I like about Jinbei is, I mean, the main reason most people like Jinbei is a result of the fact that Jinbei brought Luffy back to reality after Marineford and was there for him. That's the main ride or die mentality with Jinbei, as far as I can see, and it was a very, very good moment. Jinbei is kind of like the wise person. Um, but at the very same point in time, I think that the reasons I'm not a big Jinbei fan is that Jinbei is he's like a martyr to the point where it's like a bit too much in your face, where he's always about killing himself and always about having to repay his debts. You know, and the fact that he's not in the story that much either, so you only get to see a little bit of him. Um, I don't know. Jinbei's just kind of just like he's just there. There's nothing really that really stands out to me about Jinbei. I don't really feel a huge connection with Jinbei as a character. I don't hate Jinbei, but I don't really like him either. Fish. No. With more time to flesh him out, it would be better. Its Kingdom is overrated or underrated. But I don't know. I think Kingdom gets a very, very good reputation, and I think it gets a good reputation for a good reason. I don't think Kingdom is overrated, and I don't know if it's underrated either. I mean, it does very well in sales, does it not? Or am I just misremembering something? For me, it's Roderick. I really like started like yeah, Roderick is actually a fine character. I'm not a big Roderick stan, but he's a good character. I like him. What do you think about solo leveling? I am not a fan of solo level. I'm not a fan of what I think solo leveling was becoming as I dropped it. I am not fully caught up with the series. I could be wrong, but I did not like the direction the story was going. Who's your favorite character in Brotherhood? Yours was Mustang. Ooh, I mean Mustang is. I think my favorite's probably Scar. Scar, then Mustang. Have I ever read Fairy Tail? I have. I've actually read more than half of Fairy Tail because back in the day, I used to be a big Rave Master fan. Don't know if many of you really know that, but I used to be big into Rave Master, and I read Fairy Tail because I had read Rave Master. What's my least favorite chapter or moment in the entirety of One Piece? Oh my god. Least favorite. Recent. Sure. Oh my god. I don't know if I could one moment over every other moment. I don't know if I have one that's like the pinnacle. Fiji says, I get that. I'm kind of annoyed Zoro dropped Shisui like that, but we'll see more of that what he's thinking soon enough, hopefully. For me, it's like it's all about the execution of how these things are done. I don't know if you know my current thoughts on One Piece. I know you stand it quite a lot on Twitter, which is perfectly fine. I am quite disillusioned with the quality of One Piece as of the past. Has it been 3 years now? I would say I've been quite disillusioned with the quality of One Piece. And Wano's really starting to just. I mean, Whole Cake Island kind of made me lose faith. Reverie gave me a little bit of faith back, and then Wano crushed it once again. It's I find it interesting that Luffy wasn't at all concerned about Jinbei when he ran into Big Mom this arc. There are a quite a large number of things I'm surprised Luffy, the crew, and the other characters in Wano aren't commenting on. What's my favorite anime ever? Avatar: The Last Airbender. Uh, I cannot express how much I love that series. Cody. My top 10 or top 5 favorite chapters in One Piece. Um, Mihawk versus Zoro. Ace Death. Whitebeard's speech. Oh my. It's there's so many chapters. How fuck? I don't know which. I don't actually know because like there are moments that I love, but I don't know if they're actually if they're one chapter or more than one chapter. Yo, what's up, Maryland? How you doing, man? Chris, did you have any more thoughts on One Piece 958? To be honest, I have not put much thought into One Piece 958. Um, my opinions have kind of remained the same, Yak. I don't personally, for my perspective, I don't care about anything that's happening right now in Wano, and this whatever happened in this chapter, it's I do not like the way it was executed. I do not like the reasoning and the pacing behind it. And I am not invested into whatever type of danger is being proposed in the arc because everything that came before it was made. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan of Wano. Is Rave Master actually that much better than Fairy Tail? I would, I, I would have to reread them honestly. I liked Rave Master at the time I was reading it. Ended like ending was crap though. Um, Better than Fairy Tail? I don't know. Fairy Tail's probably better than Rave. I would just say I like the characters in Rave Master more. Idris, do you think Zoro is at the same level with Luffy, even though we haven't seen his power yet? No, I think Zoro is significantly better than Luffy right now, or he should be. The only reason he wouldn't be is if Oda threw out continuity in the than before. So they could be equal as far as I know. Thoughts on Korra? Korra is an abomination. It's it is crazy how the best chapters of Wano by far were outside of Wano. As you said, once we're back in the Wano was meh. Yeah, you kind of know. I've commented on the state of the community with Wano already, but you can kind of see the lack of investment into the arc through the content creators. Um, for me, it's a little bit telling. How do you rate One Piece's art? One Piece has fine art. It's not great or anything, but respectable. There are really, really good panels. Most manga artists are capable of drawing some amazing stuff, but consistency is kind of like what defines you. Oda isn't up there, artists, which is fine. Doesn't Not a bad thing. Did I watch Blade of the Immortal? I have not. I've heard a lot of good things about Blade of the. Do I like fairy? No, I don't. I don't like Fairy Tale Joker, but I think Fairy Tale's better than Raven Master. Yo, what's up, Joel? Bro, the Last Airbender goat, Toph the goat. I mean, so many good moments in Avatar. The Zoro and Momo Sensei student relationship would have been so interesting. If it was fleshed out more. Yeah, much like everything in Wano, a lot of it would have been a lot interesting if there was less of it and more concentrated. Um, I've made this point before, but I think the fact that Oda has so many plot points actually takes away from how good those plot points are, because they just kind of seem to be like drive-bys, like check, check, did that, check. I don't really go into detail. None of it really matters that much. Check, check, check. Here's an homage to something historical. Doesn't really matter. Check. Um, there are so many good ideas that were in Wano that just didn't really go anywhere for me. My perspective. Zoro's sensei role with Momo was definitely just something that was completely made moot so far. Oda's spread at 958 was Hito. It was good. I even commented in my live reaction. I thought that was a beautiful spread. But overall, I mean, it's not a bad thing. Just Oda's art is not up to par with the better artists. Will you read a hentai made by Oda or Mashima? I would read one by Mashima because Mashima has more consistent art. Oda's, if Oda made a hentai, half of it would be figures. Do I think Wano is going to surpass Marineford like Oda said? I mean, anything could happen. I could eat my words, but if I were to judge off of the 46 chapters have 48, 48 now, but however many we have right now, if I were basing it off of everything we've read, it is significantly below anything in Marine. As I said before, I think Wano has the potential to end up being the most overrated arc in manga history, because I know what the end result of it's going to be, and I think people are going to gas it so much that there's going to be a big disconnect. What I think of the series and what other people do. But I think the Pain arc is the best arc in Naruto. It was my favorite arc in Naruto. I've only read Naruto once, to be honest, so I'm not an expert in the field. I have my opinions on it, but the Pain arc was definitely whenever I was the most invested in the story. Personally, got to blind video whenever I get the motivation to do stuff. Rich, are you into hip hop? And if yes, who are your top three rappers and hip hop artists? I am into hip hop, but I'm not a hip hop connoisseur, as you would say. So I don't know, and I have not listened to everyone. I'm white, so Eminem's in my top three. So is NF. I actually, as of right now, I think I'm actually starting to like NF for the quality of his and the message behind his music more than Eminem, and then it'd probably be Biggie, my third. It's how much of Guts' senses do you think he will lose by the time that and what I think is going to happen, Sen, is I think Guts is going to lose most of them, but I think he's going to end up getting them back. Do you think there is pressure within the anime community to quickly hop on popular series? Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, it's kind of like the same thing in every medium. People like to hop on what's trendy so that they can be relatable. It's a common human interaction. So yeah, that's definitely a part of it. Which manga has your favorite art? Berserk. I have a certain niche in like style of art that I really really like. Berserk definitely has it up. Is definitely my favorite so far. Um, Tokyo Ghoul is also up there because like Tokyo Ghoul has like these weird, I don't know. Tokyo Ghoul has really good art. Very very unique style, I would say, for Tokyo Ghoul. Do you like Ragnarok type endings? The myth, not the movie. I mean, yeah, those are fine. The existence of the numbers. I don't personally. I don't care about the numbers. We'll see what they do, but the fact that they exist is not. I'm not interested in them because there have been so many other things that have been revealed in Wano that were interesting that ended up not being interesting at all. So new things that are being introduced do not make me get interested if the things that came before that were not something that were thought was adequate. I honestly think you're completely wrong, though. I think Oda is going to pull some craziness for one. Everything so far has been a build up. I mean, everything has been a build up, Fiji, and you're right. And you could be correct. Maybe Oda's pulling something off. I just think that the quality of writing so far in Wano, from my perspective, has been so poor to the degree that the ends do not justify the means of how the story got there for me. Which is depressing. That's why I have the epithet of being the drag down. 6 9 to go. That's a fact. No chapter this week. Yo, what's up, Brago? My favorite arc in One Piece is Marineford. Marineford, then Ennie's Lobby slash Water 7, then Arlong Park. Do I think Marco is stronger than Luffy? I do not. I think Luffy's stronger than Marco. Do I think if Guts kills Griffith that the brand will remove, or is he going to go to hell? No, I don't think by killing Griffith the brand would be removed. But I don't know. That is a possibility. It could follow the archetype of like if you defeat the one that kind of imprisoned you, everyone gets freed. But I kind of attribute it more to like defeating the concept of evil in the series, whatever God Hand. Eventually, whenever they destroy like the whirling mass of hell, I think that will eventually be ripped apart with the nature of what humans want in this. Alabasta or Dressrosa? Alabasta. Have I ever read Vagabond? I have not. I have not. I want to read at some point. Do I think Demon Slayer is overhyped? I haven't read it or watched it, so I don't know. You're talking. Some people say that Wano is already top tier. They can have their own opinion. They're allowed to say and believe what they want to believe. No skin off my bone. I think we'll get a Kano arc. No, I don't think so. I would be very, very surprised if we got a Kano arc. I think Berserk will get a good anime adaptation one day. Maybe far into the future when I'm much older. Does it bother you how little substance there is as far as reviews go in the anime? I mean, I can't speak as if I know what other reviews in the anime community are like because I can only go based off of One Piece and like Chibi's channel, use other series. Um, I would say that reviews in of the chapters aren't necessarily reviews. They're discussions disguised as reviews because they're not critiquing and weighing chapter in terms of substance. They're talking about the plot points of the chapter. But I mean, it doesn't really necessarily bother me. I feel like the way reviews are right now, it leaves up. I don't know. Actually, from a reader standpoint, it might be boring that everyone basically says the same thing, but it's popular for a reason. What do I think of Murata's art? It's literally godly. I mean, that guy has a fucking gift. Is Bound Man stronger than Snake Man? Physically, yes. Do you think the final fight could take place in the Eclipse dimension? I mean, I want to say I don't think so, but it's a possibility. Yo, what's up, Kelly's Wave? Yeah, everything's going good, man. It's when did you realize One Piece was a great story? Alabasta did it for me. I think when I realized One Piece was a great story, because I think Alabasta, I was like, okay, I like One Piece. Great, I would say, much like most people, probably around Water 7. Most anime vids have 80% recap. I mean, yeah, for the most part. Chris, do you think it's possible that whenever Griffith shows up, next Casca will choose to go with him due to her amnesia? Yeah, we got a reader going on. I would want to answer your question, Yak, but Fiji's here, so I'm gonna leave. Chris, do you think One Piece is the best shonen ever? I don't know. I don't know. It might be. I would say most people think it is, but we'll see how it is in a couple of years. As of right now, I think it's probably the best, but there are others that I would consider are probably pretty close. Jojo, do you think Garp is now stronger than Prime Whitebeard? I do. No, I mean they're probably equivalent, in my opinion. Do I think Pudding is in Wano? There's like no evidence to go off of. Maybe because it's like, is she hiding in like the bottom of Big Mom's ship that was knocked off the waterfall? That's really the only chance, unless she came on a different ship. King just went live with a fast food tier list. I haven't eaten at enough fast food places to even make a tier list. Who do I think the Grand Fleet can honestly defeat if they had trouble beating uh Jofi's family? I mean, they're all fodder, so In my opinion, they're there to be mostly numbers rather than to be titans of battle. It's Water 7 solidified my belief on Piece as a really good story because Skypiea brought me down. What didn't you like about Skypiea, Doctor? Did I lose interest? Did you lose interest in Hunter x Hunter? Yeah, I've said this a few times, but I binge read Hunter x Hunter, and the arc that made me lose interest in the series was the Chimera Ant arc. I didn't my first time. I've only read the series, so when I read it, I hated that arc so much. I hated the arc so much that I stopped reading Hunter x Hunter for like 2, and then I picked it up and like I caught up to the point in time where Frollo was supposed to fight Hisoka, and I got bored and then just dropped it. I might have to go reread Hunter x Hunter, but my first read through was not good. Hunter x Hunter isn't consistent enough, releasing 20 chapters every 2 years drops your rating for me. See, my opinion on that solo dolo is that in the short term, it decreases your opinion, but in the long term, it's not going to matter because whenever the work is completed, people will be weighing it on the totality of its work. Only people who are weighing it on the week to week process will think it's different. Which is why I tried to convince Brago in a discussion um that he Hunter x Hunter is his favorite series because we got into that discussion. Yo, what's going on, Zaymon? Have you got any hope left for One Piece, or will it just go downhill even more after Wano? I still have hope for One Piece, but Wano is going to be the deciding factor of whether or not my hope is completely broken, or if I still have an ember left afterwards. So, no conclusive opinion on that so far. How do you feel about Griffith did nothing wrong meme? Hilarious, hilarious. It's hilarious. People believe it, which makes it even better as a meme. Was it the art style? I mean, Togashi's art is dog shit. And that definitely had a factor to play. But and I've said this before, I think Hunter x Hunter is a good series, but I don't think it's a series that appeals to me, and it has to deal with Togashi more so than anything else. Even whenever I grew up watching Yu Yu Hakusho, I was not a big fan of Togashi in the way that he writes and the characters that um and I've talked about this many times. I think Hunter x Hunter is a great series, and I would recommend it to anyone. I wouldn't recommend the manga because I mean you have to like I read One Punch Man before I read Hunter x Hunter. I read the original One Punch Man, so I know what bad art is. But you really gotta prepare yourself for some awful art when reading Hunter x Hunter. But I don't know. It's similar to Attack on Titan, but so in Attack on Titan, the thing that drew me into Attack on Titan was the lore and the mystery, not the characters. So Hunter x Hunter, the characters I don't like, and the world building is also boring to me. So I don't like the world that they inhabit, and I don't like the characters either. So for me, it was like I just don't really like the way that the story for me was written. So I'll just take it like that. And I have a thing where if I do not like the main character of a series, I will oftentimes have a hard time being invested into the series. So for me, I do not like Gon. I don't like Deku. And I think My Hero is a fine series, but I just do not like the main characters for the series. Because you have to watch the anime pacing is better than the manga, and the anime art is better. I think almost everyone agrees 2011 anime greater than manga. That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard. Because I wanted Strats to go against another warlord because the end of Alabasta left me very hyped, but my excitement was killed because they were going to Sky because I knew everything there they do there won't matter. Okay, I can understand. Do I still follow One Punch Man? Um, I'm actually surprised you read the web comic first. I was keeping up with One Punch Man month to month, but much like how I kind of got behind on schedule with The Promised Neverland, I fell behind on One Punch Man as well. I have to read One Punch Man and catch up, but I'm very, very lazy. So it'll probably be a while. When am I going to start JoJo's? I don't know, man. I'm very, very lazy. So, have I ever read Nozoki Anna? I have, actually. Do I think My Hero right now is better than Naruto? I have not read My Villain Academia yet. So, like, the last time I read My Hero, and this is the chapter I dropped My Hero, was when. What's the guy who can take over your body? Shinzo? Is that his name? Shinzo? I dropped My Hero whenever we went into another training arc because I was just getting so bored of those. Um, and I didn't pick it up after that. So that's the last time I read My Hero. So to comment on the quality of My Hero, it can't even touch Naruto's feet with the arcs that came before that. Not the heights of Naruto. There are some good My Hero arcs though that I like. Did you drop you drop before the arc where Togashi expands the world on some new world level stuff like Oda? What is that? The Dark Continent? I don't know. I was not invested whatsoever because like I don't know. Much of Hunter x Hunter isn't really about the world as far as I can tell. Um, I don't know. It just me and Hunter x Hunter don't vibe well, but I have deep respect for the series, especially the magic system. Nen is a great magic system. Has everyone one Punch Man now? It's probably amazing. You'll see you later, Fiji. Yeah, the music in anime is usually top tier. The My Hero ones are pretty good. What I've seen. Speaking of Radiant, I read the first chapter of Radiant 2 days ago, and I've heard good things about Radiant, and I'm not going to judge this series off of its first chapter because many other series have rough first chapters, but the first chapter of Radiant is definitely very, very rough, very, very dry, stereotypical, with very little life to it, as far as at least creative ability, as far as I can see, in terms of writing. It is in every sense of the word a shonen. Um, but I'm going to continue reading Radiant because I've heard good things about it. So one chapter is not enough for me to give a definitive thought on a series. I have not seen Morge's new video about the Ancient Weapons Maryland. I have yet to watch that. I probably will at some point in time. Ever read Kasane? I have not. I have not. Dritz, where do you think the Guts gang will get the numbers to fight the War Demons, God Hand, and all of the smaller tier apostles in general? I think part of it's going to be from Silat whenever they go back home to his clan. I also think part of it depends on exactly what happens because I mean there's still a bunch of other demons in the land. I'm not necessarily sure if it's going to be like Guts leading an army of quote unquote good people versus Griffith, or if it's going to be like all part of a larger battle that Guts intervenes with, which is Guts has done that quite a lot. You know, like there's like a plot already going on, and he just kind of like comes in doing his thing. It's kind of hard to say. I don't know if Guts needs to get like a billion people. He'll just get the important people that will matter. Thoughts on Joker? I had not seen Joker yet, but I've heard it's amazing. That's what I've heard. Can you repeat what your question was, Yak? I don't remember it. What's your favorite power in One Piece? Good question. My favorite power. This is like really, really basic, but I'm a basic white girl. But I actually really, really like Ace's fruit. I always have this affinity to fire, which is a very stereotypical thing. There's a lot of biological and psychological reasons why that's the case. But I really, really like fire abilities. It's if Hunter x Hunter fans listen to what you said about the series, they would get so mad. I know Hunter x Hunter fans have quite the I don't know they have quite the faithful following in Togashi, call him. But I don't know, man. Me and Hunter x Hunter just do not vibe well together. Maybe if I reread it, I would feel differently about it. But I don't know, man. I just it was rough getting through the manga for Hunter x Hunter for me. Have I seen Seiya's Manus on Netflix? I have not. What is that? Yeah, what's up, Hemmings? How you doing? I'd say Radiant is the fairy tale of this new era of anime. I don't think it will surpass My Hero, but it was enjoyable to me at least. I do personally like it better than Black Clover, though. I'm gonna give it a chance because I feel like everything deserves a chance. Do I think Berserk is going to end before Miura dies? Yes, I think actually Berserk is ending very soon. Way sooner than people think it is. I think Berserk's going into the final arc now. So I think it will end very, very. Why do you underrate Kuma anything other than him getting slashed by Zoro? I don't I mean like I could under I suppose I do underrate Kuma, Doctor, but it's the fact that like it's really, really hard to actually scale Kuma because there's so many asterisks about him because we only saw him fucking around with the Strat in the pre-time skip, and it's like pre-time skip things are different here. I haven't seen him do anything in the post-time skip. We just haven't really seen him do that much. I don't know what he's comparable to in terms of other powers. I have him at commander level, but I don't know how strong he actually is. I don't know if we'll ever find out either. But I think Guts is stronger than all of the war demons at the moment. Yeah, I think Guts is basically stronger than every single apostle on the planet right now. I don't think anyone's stronger than even Zod. I think Guts is stronger than Zod in his berserk, especially with his berserk. But I don't know. Grumbelt is not stronger. Guts, Irvine, Irvine. I don't even think Irvine's really that strong at all. Um, he's useful, but he's not like you wouldn't be able to fuck with Guts. I don't think. Locus. Yeah, I don't know. I think Guts is definitely above the Apostles at this point in time. I think the next time Griffith shows up, that Casca will go with him because of her amnesia regarding what he did to her, because of her pain when she looks at Guts. Oh, that would get me fucking pissed off. But it's a possibility. I don't think necessarily that's going to happen. I think Griffith's going to show up and it will spark a change in Casca, but I don't think Casca is going to go with Griffith. I just, something about that, I just don't think it's going to happen. If it does, oh my, I mean, I'll be mad for the right reason. Do you think Chimera Ant arc compares to Marineford? I guess if you were comparing the series, I would say isn't Chimera Ant arc actually wait what arcs are after Chimera? I don't know the chronological arcs. Is New York what is it? Is it New York or York? I don't know. Is New York after Chimera arc or before? Because what I got the interpretation that Chimera Ant arc is kind of like the equivalent to Marineford or of the Hunter x Hunter verse. But you can't forget Togashi was already super successful with Yu Hakusho. Then he made Hunter x Hunter not relevant to him, but he begged the manga, he banged or bagged the mangaka for Sailor Moon. I mean, that's all fine and dandy. I mean, I'm not a super big fan of Yu Hakusho past the Dark Tournament. Um, and I'm not a big fan of Hunter x Hunter. I think Hunter x Hunter is great, but I mean, Togashi's got his thing going for him. Now Togashi, I have serious doubts about him ever finishing the series. I think Miura will finish it. I don't know about Togashi. Yo, see you later, Hemmings. Who's my top one lolly? I'm not going to jail. What series is this, Sanders? I think Griffith will show up as the Moonchild and not his regular self. Oh my god. Yo. Now that would be spicy. God. Oh, York New is before? What the fuck is after Chimera Ant arc? What arcs are after Chimera Ant? I'm on chapter 4 Berserk. What do you think about Gambino? Gambino's a good character. Good flashback character, especially as a father figure. Very complicated character, and deep down inside, he was a good. He had good characteristics, but he became flawed when he lost his loved one. Very realistic as well. Am I getting cut off? Election arc. Oh yeah, that I forgot that was even a thing. Was I don't even remember what happened in that arc. Was that? Oh wait, is that the part where I don't even know what the hell this guy's name is? Is it Leorio? Is that whenever he smacks bad dad in the face? Killua goes to his family and grabs the lolly girl because she has supernatural crazy powers and he's the only one that can like, bang her lolly ass into submission, stuff like that, and he tries to revive Gon and stuff like that. I'm talking about Hunter x Hunter right now, Eric. Donovan is also a good character. Mm. Now Donovan is the main man. That's the one. Okay. All right. So at least I got it partly right. What else happened? So after that happens, do they actually revive Gon back to his original form or not? I forget. I know what Killua has like the thing where it's like his sister, even though she's a tool, she becomes humanized. I remember liking that part. What happens after that? I don't even remember. Is that do I drop the arc after this? Is this whenever the Crollo and Hisoka stuff happens? I don't even know where my expectations for Act 3 of Wano. I I mean my expectations for Act 3 are fairly low. But I mean Odin flashback, probably some drama. Hopefully involves the Straw Hat crews to like become invested in the arc. Maybe dealing with some outside factors. Fire Festival, all of that junk. Maybe beginning of the war, stuff like that. Just would pay 2 silver coins for Donovan. Oh hell yeah, I would. Donovan's a man. I mean, if you look closely at the, and I don't know how many people actually know this, but if you look closely at the rape scene with Donovan, Donovan is actually forcing Guts to pinch his nipple. So he does what he likes. What the hell? Carl Ravel, 50 Godhawk bucks. Wow. Hey, hashtag God Dritsu. Hope your day was well, but out of curiosity, who would you want the last Straw Hat member to be? And do you think Garp will turn sides on the final arc? Good questions, Carl, and I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. Thank you very much for the donation. I appreciate it, my friend. Last member of the Straw Hats. Personally, I know Otis said that he wanted there to be at least 10 Straw Hats and that some would join in rapid succession. Um, Last Straw Hats. And like, part of me wants to gatekeep what being a Straw Hat means, but part of me also acknowledges that the later we get onto the series, the less being a Straw Hat really means. Um, Last Straw. Hmm. Maybe Momo, Momo slash carrot slash new character, something like that. I would say because Jinbei's like he's gonna be here. I don't think Jinbei's going to be the last though. And do I think Garp will turn sides in the final arc? Yeah, I do think so. I think, at least I think, it's part of Garp's character arc to kind of right the wrongs that he did at Marineford, where he didn't take action enough and kind of let things go by. Because I think that should be something he has regrets with for the rest of his life. I do think it should be part of Garp's destiny to switch sides at the end of the series and do what he always should have done. What a little pause. It's true, Joker. Guts makes Guts is forced to pinch Donovan's nipples. Quite yep. Next chapter, Dritz gives a 10 out of 10 is only going to be whenever Zoro uses Conquers. I mean, I don't know who you think I am, but I'm not that big of a fan of Conquers hockey right now. Speaking of which, I have to make a video sooner rather than later explaining why it's absolutely mandatory for Oda to go into Conqueror's hockey in more detail before the final battle begins. Absolutely mandatory, or else there runs the potential of going into plot holes. So I'm gonna have to make that video at some point in time. You've been seeing what's going on with NBA, and you know what country? Yeah, China. It's been crazy, and Hearthstone as well. Fucking China's invincible. China number one. The Okama giant give Fuchi that work? I mean, he might have. He might have. Sengoku versus Garp will be godly. Ooh. Shouts to Hemmings. Have I ever watched any of the Monogatari franchise? If so, thoughts? The only Gatari I've watched in full is Katana Gatari. And I really, Katana Gatari is a good series. I've watched the first 6 episodes of Monogatari and I enjoyed it. Um, it was fine. I don't think it was absolutely amazing. I like the dialogue a lot. I have to see where the series is going to go though. So far, so good though. I'd say. Do you think we will get crew moments before the war starts? We better. We damn well better. If they're going to go ahead and take down a Yonko, there's better be some fucking crew interactions. I swear to God, I'll slit my own wrists. Not. Next 10 out of 10 for Dritz is when Zoro leaves the crew. Ooh, if he does, oh, that would be. Dritz, how would you think Hawkins' 1 month prediction will play a part in the story? Can the Alliance lose and regroup to launch another attack at the end of the month with more allies? Sure, they could do that, but oh my God, part of me doesn't want that to happen because how incompetent. And the reason I don't like that is because it goes off of the pretense that they have to survive a full-blown war encounter against the Yonko, and in order to survive the time to regroup, the enemy has to basically not give a shit at what they're doing and let them do stuff and be incompetent, which that's getting old for me. Getting old. I hope that doesn't happen. Bakemonogatari. I don't know. Whatever one it is. Cipher made me start. I don't know if it's Bakemonogatari or Monogatari, whatever. I don't know. I don't know which one it is. I know that I started at the beginning. I don't know which one it is. I forget. Katana Gatari is good. Isio Isen greatness, but it's not connected to Monogatari. Yeah, Katana Gatari I quite like a lot. But I think Burgess's commander level. I personally don't think so. It's you're not hype at all about Zoro with Emma power. Nope, I am not. It's why did Oda have to do that to Hawkins because he was making Law look like an idiot? Oda probably secretly found out that Hawkins was my favorite character in Wano and decided to end him in that chapter. He's like, I had to do it to him. I think Dritz is overrated. Yo, facts. Fuck that guy. Chronologically, Bake isn't first, but it's the beginning. I don't even know what was the I don't know which one this is, but it's the one where like the first episode is wherever Ara is it Aragi. I want to say Araragi because of the one episode, but it's when Aragi catches floaty float girl, feather girl. What the hell's her name? Senjo Gohara. Down the flight of stairs and stuff. He helps her out, then he helps out another chick, and then he helps out another chick, and then he helps out another chick, and then he helps out another chick. Something like that. What if on Marineford when Shanks fights Kaido, instead of fighting, Shanks just drank Kaido and then left him drunk? Well, I made a theory suggesting that they didn't fight. I made a theory suggesting that they didn't fight, so that. Did I know Bakugo kills Deku? The Bakugo memes. The top three things we have to get closure to by the time Berserk ends. Closure. Well, obviously, I mean, number one is obviously the dynamic between Casca, Guts, and Griffith. We need closure for the revenge in the story between them from the eclipse. That is obviously number one. Two, I would say full closure on because right now, because like obviously like the journey with Guts has been the fact that Guts is kind of like the ideal Chad, where that's why there's like the multiple women who are interested in Guts. I feel like there has to be a full closure and moving on for Shirka and Farnese from Guts as a romantic partner or idealized romantic partner, because it kind of goes along with the transcendental themes and archetypes of their characters, especially with Farnese, since she has three suitors or three romantic interests essentially. Um, and also to go along with the fact that Farnese right now has kind of lost her role in the story because she is no longer capable of looking after Casca, because Casca is now more competent, stronger, and more useful than Farnese is. So Farnese has to find. This should be a character conflict coming up at soon. It will probably be resolved by Farnese mastering more magic. Um, but I expect a character dynamic to ensue between her losing basically her purpose because brain dead Casca was basically the means that gave her meaning. Third, third thing we need closure on the most. I want to say it has to be something Skull Knight related because Skull Knight is such a large mythological figure in the series. We need closure on exactly who Skull Knight is, what is his backstory, what happened to him, what is going on between him and Zod. How was Zod connected to that story? How old is Zod? Um, Something with Skull Knight, I would say is third. Oh, History of the God Hand, yeah, that's definitely up there for sure. Fritz, if My Hero is ending in a few years, do you think it'll be good if Deku gets the title of the Great Hero only as a teen? Because I don't think the Horikoshi will age him in the entire time we have left. I mean, stereotypically, I mean, it's fairly common for people to, especially for like teens in these stories, to reach their peak while still being young. I mean, what Naruto was Naruto even 16 at the end, and he was already God essentially. As long as Guts is near Casca, retard Casca will always need assistance from Farness until that is resolved. Who is Luffy's warm-up opponent? I don't know if Luffy's going to have a warm-up opponent. I suggested Weevil for a while because I thought that Weevil would be on his way to Wano, but he's kind of just like chilling in the middle of nowhere. So I don't really know if Luffy's gonna have a warm-up opponent or not. It's what's the moment about Sanji that you like the most? Oh, you're really trying to find out. That's a hard one because there's so few. What moment that I like Sanji the most? Well, I think the best moment he had in the series was putting on the raid suit. In terms of character, but in terms of like badass moments, the light cigarette. Oh, favorite. It is actually the character interaction he had was Zoro at the end of Thriller Bark. That is really, really good. I actually do like that quite a lot. So that's my favorite, actually. Favorite interaction scene with Sanji in the series. Naruto and Sasuke were 17 in the war arc. It's because there's no birthday for them. Huh. 17, where they go? They were basically walking gods on the earth at the age of 17. So, Haru from Rave Master was a young kid. A lot of them are actually pretty young. Thoughts on Godo. Oh, actually, he's God. Yo, Godo is that fucking boy. Godo is one of the best characters in Berserk. Sen, the chapter where he completely exposes Guts' entire mentality and actions. Best chapters in the series. Whoa, another $50 from Carl. Yo, I must have done something good today. Thank you very much for the next 50, Carl. I appreciate it. Are you planning to do another neck to neck video? If so, you and Brago are well overdue. And what would you do if Big Mom loses her memories again? The thing is, I can see that happening. I can totally see that happening. Oh, fuck me. Neck to neck. I need to get a neck to neck moving. If anything, I can do those. I could be uploading neck to necks more frequently because they're a lot easier to do than making analysis videos. But Brago is overdue, vastly overdue. I need to figure out what I want to talk to Brago about. Me and Brago think so alike, and we're different in some ways, but we've talked about so much stuff. I need to think about what I need to talk to Brago about. What would be a good topic? Will Luffy get a scar after the fight with Kaido? I think he should have something to show, or it's going to be, Luffy should basically be dead by the end of Wano. There should be something as a result from the fight of Kaido that, gives us an indication of exactly what he's went through. Should be no easy feat. What are your thoughts on the Akatsuki members? I mean, I was actually a big fan of the Akatsuki. I thought most of them were actually pretty fucking cool. So I like most of them. Is Big Mom the biggest plot device in One Piece? I mean, I could probably think of another, but Big Mom is he's up there, man. Other than Zoro and Sanji, whom do you think have King's Haki? I mean, I don't think Sanji has King's Haki, but who do I think has King's Haki and the Straw Hats? The only other person that could possibly have it would be like, I guess, as a meme. Have you ever thought about doing a Berserk stream in which you gather other people who read Berserk and talk about it at length? I might have to do that. Yo, yeah, I should get you, Sen, and like, Fiji in here after Fiji gets caught up and just like talk about Berserk. And other people if they wanted to join Veroni, maybe. It honestly bogs my mind how Big Mom became a Yonka with her immeasurable amount of incompetence. Oh boy. Big Mom is. Am I still cutting out? Maybe I need to. Maybe I need to get a new goddamn mic. Badger. Oh yeah, Badger. I mean, honestly, I need to do a Discord stream at some point in time. It's been a long time since I've done one of those. What are some plot points or mysteries that you fear Oda will never explain? Never. Oh man. Hmm. I don't know. I really fear that this. I guess how Conqueror's hockey affects hockey in general might be one of them. We know you love Big. I hate Big Mom so much, man. It's what's Rickart's role, because I don't think he can just keep making random weapons for the rest of the series. He needs to make something vital to the war, something magic related maybe. Rickard, I think, will be Rickard may take up the mantle of what Godo did and fashion like the final battle, like suit, maybe even a new sword, fix the Dragon Slayer, or reinvent it for the final battle. Because I think, in my opinion, I had to. This is going to be a part of a video as well. That I think Guts, whenever whatever climax happens with the Moonlit Child, is going to end up putting Guts into a very, very, very serious situation. That's how I think Guts is going to lose all of his feelings, sight, and everything. And that's also the point in time where I think Casca is going to get her brain back, is during this climactic moment with the Moonlit Child. And it's going to be a bittersweet thing because Guts will basically die doing what he needs to do. Um, Casca will get her brain back. Uh, Guts will lose all of his feelings, and it will be a role reversal in a sense. And I think Guts will eventually get that back, but I think as a result of whatever conflict happens with the Moonlit Child, will result in there being a definitive big difference between Guts and potentially Griffith. If Griffith is the one to do the nasty to him, whoever it is, I think Guts will basically be shattered by the end of that. So I think Rickard's going to recraft the Dragon Slayer after it is kind of cracked and broken, because it will kind of resemble what Guts will be like at that point in time, and he will reinvent the armor, whatever he might be wearing. If it's the Berserker armor, maybe it's something more. And again, like Gintama, you guys been rocking for me. Get to get Gintama for a while. What do I think of the theory where Serpico activates the Beherit Guts as carrying? Personally, can't see that happening, but was curious what your thoughts were on it. Ooh, Serpico. Now that is interesting. I maybe I kind of always assumed that. I'm not sure whether it would be voluntary or involuntary. I think this might be. It's a bit sketchy because I think um something needs to happen in this series that makes Guts transcend basically the limits of what he's capable of doing, while also reviving his body to the point where he can actually logically fight Griffith. And I kind of assumed that the Beherit would be used as the thing that puts Guts on the next level. He would be like sacrificing his humanity to defeat Griffith. But I felt like the Beherit would be like maybe like the Moonlit Child is sacrificed with the Beherit. Um, a demon being sacrificed. I don't know if that's ever happened before as a sacrifice for a Beherit. Um, I thought that would also be the means of which Guts gets his body back after he loses all of his senses. But maybe that wouldn't happen. But yeah, the Beherit's a big question mark. Just what do you think the closure will be for Guts and Casca's child? Will they ever get him back? Make a new one? Ooh, the closure for their child. I feel like the child's gonna end up in tragedy. But from the child's perspective, the closure for the child might be Guts and Casca returning to normal and maybe having an actual family moment, because something that Stone Knight said is that even a demon wants to be with their parents. So I think that there will be a legitimate family moment with Guts, Casca, and the Moonlit Child, where they could be a family for a little bit. But I also think that they probably are going to have another child, maybe in the epilogue, if there's a quote unquote happy ending for Berserk. I don't know if it will be. But Guts did say he wanted to have Cask 1,000 of more times throughout the series. So, yo, Mir, if you can give me another god tier sex chapter, 2 sex chapters between Guts and Casca, that was the most wholesome shit I've ever seen in my entire life. Is that another 50 fucking dollars? Carl, Carl, my boy, what? Holy shit! Uh, Thank you. Holy shit. Do you think Chopper will have some type of redemption because he's been getting the weenie, the weenie treatment? And if you had to estimate Mihawk's bounty, where would it be? The redemption for Chopper, there's, as far as I can tell, there's only one path for redemption for Chopper, and that is doing. I made a theory about this. You guys know how I think Luffy is going to catch the same disease or some type of illness that will be a replication of Roger's disease slash other characters' diseases. And the difference between what would define Luffy's journey as opposed to Roger's journey will be the fact that Luffy will have all of the answers to the issues that he will come up against, unlike everyone else that came before him. So I think Chopper's main moment, if he's going to accomplish his dream of curing an incurable disease, would be to cure the very same disease that took the life of his father figure, Hirok, by curing it in Luffy, and that would be his defining character moment. If you guys know, I have high headcanons that I really want Luffy to catch this disease so that it would be something that would vastly impact the rest of the crew, leading to other character moments in the series. That would be fucking amazing. I would cream my pants. I might be able to forgive Wano if it happened. But that is Chopper's redemption, man. Oh my god. Luffy gets a disease. Chopper cures it and he stops being a fucking bot. And then there's like emotion. Yes. As far as what Mihawk's bounty is going to be, I'm keeping my expectations fairly low because Mihawk is one man. Unlike Yonko, who have territory, crew, and everything like that, Mihawk's a lone soldier. I expect him to be above 2 billion. But I'm not expecting too much from my boy. Yo, JB, my daddy. It's been a long time since I've seen you around, JB. Yo, what is poppin'? How's Austin? How was work? My man, my friend. That's the guy who gave me my channel right there. Suck that dick. Fitz wants Luffy to get AIDS. Facts. Mayo. If Luffy got captured, do you think Momo could take charge of the rebellion? I think Momo at some point in Wano has to distinguish himself from the legacy and the shadow that he's trapped under. So as of right now, Momo is living in the shadow of his father, and he can't truly be a man of his own unless he distinguishes himself from his father and make people believe in him instead of believing in the dream of what Odin was. So Momo has to have a defining character moment in Wano that justifies that, in my opinion. Because I think that Luffy is getting the Roger illness would be pretty lame and forced for Chopper to develop. Also, would prove the whole Ashura Indra stuff with Luffy and Roger. Well, I mean, the Ashura Indra stuff is kind of like already there in the series. But Chopper's dream to cure an incurable disease has to come as a great character moment that actually matters. And Chopper's role as a doctor has been largely relevant in the series as a whole, and there hasn't been any emotion tied to those skills, which is quite unlike what you would expect for a doctor. But that's what I would want personally. Because, I mean, even though you guys know I'm black pilled about the Straw Hats, that would be the one moment like Chopper, that would be like a great redemption of his character. Especially because, like, the point of being a doctor is, like, Crocus followed Roger or was on the journey to keep Roger alive long enough to get to the point where he could find out the true history, do all that shebang. I feel like Chopper kind of has to mirror the same thing. It would make Chopper better. IMO. I think Momo goes with the Straw Hats. Hiyori becomes queen. As of right now, JB, I am leaning towards Hiyori becoming the queen. If not Hiyori, even someone like, hell, who knows what's going to happen with Kyoshiro slash Kinemon. I think Momo, depending on what happens with this character, I think he'll probably end up staying with the Straw Hats until Raftel leaves. Yo, JD, what's going on, my boy? Do you think it's possible that Momo unlocks Conquerors? My headcanon is an attempt to protect Hiyori. He uses Conk and knocks out the fodder attacking her. Now, it's funny you bring that up because as it so happens, let me just let me go through my videos. Let me just check something out here. Huh. Look at that. Wow. Do I think another character will have the time fruit? I don't think so, no. I don't know. I'm kind of divided on the time fruit. I think it's better for it to be out of the series as much as humanly possible. How's the Luna video coming along? Slowly, as per usual. Not much, man. I saw Berserk and dive bombed in here. Looks like we're talking about One Piece right now. Thoughts on Odin and Green Bull theory? The Odin is Green Bull theory is absolute heresy as far as I'm concerned, and I just maybe you might be able to be arrested if you believe it. It's what are three future Berserk moments that will make you cry, whether it's out of happiness or sadness? If Casca gets all of her functionalities back, and Guts basically becomes Guts Potato, and I would very much like it if whenever Casca regains her full mental capability, she remembers literally everything Guts has fucking had to go through for her and looks at the result of him. Because if you remember during the Golden Age, one of the big things with Casca is that she was Guts was too reckless, and she was afraid, like, go ahead and die alone, go ahead and do this alone. I would really, really like to see some closure moments between Guts and Casca. If that were to happen, I would fucking cry, dude. So good. Also, if we ever get to see Chich again, I'm crying on the spot, full on crying. Just give me Chich, please. I just don't. Momo unlocks Conquerors. Momo unlocking Conquerors makes logical sense in the series. He has the lineage and everything to go for it. It can happen. Ace unlocked it when he was young, so $2. Carl with the $2. What do you think Lola and Capone thing is about? I mean, all of the cover stories play some functional role. I think it's going to be obviously finding Lola, maybe finding out if she actually got married, and it will tie back in perhaps later to Prince Loki. Just let me know if you need an assistant for that video. I might need an assistant for that in the video. Oh, such a fucking hassle. Jill makes a return. I cry. Yeah, Jill will be the third one. If I see Jill having a meaningful character interaction with Guts, of Jill. Because what do you think about the potential Big Mom versus Luffy and Zoro versus Kaido show? I believe Ushimaru, the late daimyo of Ringo, was Zoro's father who fought Kaido to defend Wano along with Odin. Zoro versus Kaido and Big Mom versus Luffy. Uh, Hito, do you really think that's? I don't know. I think that's actually impossible. Because what do you think what is going to happen with the Beharit Guts has a power up summoned to Skull Knight's Dimension Sword? Yeah, it could be a dimension. It could be something similar to a dimension sword, but I think the Beharit's going to be used in a similar fashion to how Griffith was reborn from the King's Egg. I think Guts kind of needs to be reborn in a sense with the Beharit, so that I mean, otherwise I don't know how the hell he goes from being basically. Although I think the moral of the story is I think Guts will not go down the exact same route that Skull Knight went into because Skull Knight said you will basically lose everything at some point in time, feeling, sight, taste, but obviously he can still see shit. So he's lost everything and still managed to gain most of that shit back. But I feel like, the condition Guts is in, we can see him aging in front of our eyes. I don't know where that ends up. I think the Beharit has to be connected to it. What if you see Donovan again? That's top 10 anime moments right there. Is the Fuji is Odin's dad theory still a thing? Is that a thing? It's how fucked up would it be if the Moonlight child called Guts daddy? Please happen. Oh my god. Antonio. Oh god. That would be amazing. 10. They are talking about me on the fast food stream. What did I do? What did I say? In that case, do you think the Beast of Darkness will force Guts to sacrifice his friends? I don't know if it's necessarily going to make him sacrifice sense. I think the Beast of Darkness, much like how I suggested that I think Guts is going to go berserk, quote unquote, no pun intended, hashtag pun intended, hashtag gay. Um, I think whenever the Moonlit Child drama happens that Miura alluded to in his interviews, um, the Beast of Darkness is going to take control of Guts because that's kind of like the thing that's like Guts goes over the top in his armor, and that's basically what's zapping away his strength. So to completely get rid of all of his human senses, the Beast of Darkness needs to be unleashed entirely. And I think that's going to happen whenever the drama around the Moonlit Child surfaces. Maybe it has something to do with Casca, the child dying, and in combination of those, Guts will completely fucking lose it, and the Beast of Darkness will be completely unleashed, which will destroy his humanity. So Guts threesome with Casca and Farnes incoming, right? I'm not saying I'm against it. Only if Casca's okay. Farnes pretty bad. They think you like Panera bread. I've never even been inside Panera before. We got share. Oh, oh shit. God damn, Sen. I don't know about that. That's pretty risky, don't you think? I don't know. She won't be able to handle that monster cock. Jesus Christ. Damn it, Dritz, you're gonna make me reread Berserk for the fourth time. Completely worth it. Completely worth it. There's a lot of little details in Berserk that I've like tried to take note of, but they make for good theories, man. Good theories and good character interactions. Also, just like it's like the cool thing about Berserk is that like a lot of it is like appreciation of the character interactions coming before you. It's like so good. Plus the facial expressions in Berserk, oh the symbolism is also on point. That's what I really like about Berserk. So character oriented, so good. Yeah, what if never mind. I was gonna say, what if Shirka got casted by Griffith? What would we do then? God. I mean, Yura would do it too. Yura would do it. For sure. My God. Hey, just missed coming to this chat. I've been busy. How have you been in your job? How's your tube? Love you, Driz. Yo, what's up, Dream? What's going on, my boy? Everything's been going pretty good. The job is going great. The YouTube, I mean, my Mihawk video was popping. It's been pretty slow though, but everything there, life has been good, man. It's getting banned for that. What I say? I don't know. I don't know. What I say? I didn't suggest anything. While we're at it, Isma should die. I like Isma. I don't know if I will like Isma. I mean, Miura can make me like Isma, but such a forced addition to the band. Will Luffy awake his Devil Fruit since we focus on hockey post time skip? I think that Luffy will awaken his Devil Fruit in the next arc, not this one. Watch the movies, damn it. Oh, so many things to do, Sen. So many things to do, so little time. I'm not a miracle work. Speaking of which, speaking of miracles, I've talked about One Piece a lot. I talked about Berserk. Now I might spend some time to talk about the story, at least that I'm constructing in my head, in terms of what character, like the kind of story I'm trying to build and the characters I'm trying to make. I've been focusing on the characters so far because I'm trying to like figure out what's the best plot structure and character structure that I want to do. This Kush Bianca level facts. Totally off topic. Would you put McDonald's at A? Cole is saying it's beer. McDonald's? I mean, I'm not a fast food connoisseur. But McDonald's has to be in either B or A. I mean, it's fairly consistent food. I would say B though. Like, you know, McDonald's never gives you like amazing food. Sometimes like you'll get like really good shit, but I would say McDonald's is like B for consistency. You gotta make a Shanks video like Mihawks will get 1 million views. That's true. I would get 1 million. I don't know. Griffith gets bodied by Farnes's Mozgus fetish. That's true. That's true. And especially in her dream, in the dreamscape where her weapon was Mozgus's head. When will Nami meet Koala? Maybe whenever Luffy meets Dragon. Let me see. How will be taken down by Zoro? We'll see, man, but I just can't help but disagree. I wonder if Ace's girl will ever be made canon. What, the redhead from Ace's novel? Another redhead on the lamp. Because I've always liked the idea of Vivi coming back to the crew at some point. What's going on with Saba? How likely is it that could happen? I mean, anything's possible, Yak, but like, what functional have Brooks in the crew? Like, we actually in the crew anymore. But I don't know, it's like, what could Vivi provide to the crew that would be? I can't think of anything. Use the devil fruit? I don't know. I don't know. I think Vivi's attachment to a country kind of disqualifies her from being a actual Straw Hat. Maybe temporary again until she gets back on her feet, but permanent, I don't know. I have a hard time seeing. Here's a steep of your next video. Let me see here. I think we'll finish One Piece in 5 years. No, not a chance. The next video I'm working on for One Piece is a Kainu release. At least from all the scripts I'm looking at right here. Let's see. Things I got. Kainu video partially started. I got the Nami video partially started. Script wise, I have the misconceptions around Smoker versus Virgo. I have does Sanji have hardening hockey script partially started, and that is it so far. Any news on that Nine Body Pillow? It should be coming sometime next week. Next week should be the time, if everything is right. Beppo and the other two crewmates of Law are the traitors. Why? When am I going to do a Dofi video? Is there really any video to make on Dofi? I don't know. I don't know if I would ever make a video on Dofi. What would it even be? Top 5 anime and manga. Uh, Avatar: The Last Airbender, Berserk, um, Tokyo Ghoul. Hmm. One Piece. I don't know the fifth one. You're going to do a misconception video? Yeah, misconceptions. It was supposed to be a misconception around Smoker versus Virgo because most people interpret the fight different. Man, in Japan, they consider Avatar an anime, dude, so. Make a video on how useless Carrot is. Oh, man. You think Brooks Awakening will be able to resurrect one person that died? I hope not. I hope not. And it should not be. Ace should never come back as an actual living being. The most I could see Ace being used is, and I was maybe planning on making a video on this, would be Blackbeard resurrecting and stealing Whitebeard and Ace's bodies from the island they were buried. But I don't think there's a whole lot of likelihood that that would happen. Other video I make is why it's mandatory or why Oda needs to explain Conqueror's hockey prior to the war starting, or else we'll fall into potential issues with the plots. That's another video. Something like that. Stuff like that. Came here just to say I'm happy for you. I still remember your theory on the missing ruler of Zoe. That was a good theory. I like, even though it's not true now, it was still a good idea at the time because it makes sense. But it is what it is. Ooh. Also, thanks for dropping by. I'm a yank. Man, there's like no precedent to believe it exists now. Though the missing ruler of Zoe. There's no more evidence has been brought up in 48 chapters of Wano. There's no more evidence, Doctor. It's like, I don't know. I got most of it right. I got that I thought that the Nekomushi and Ororashi were young during the time they were with Odin, and they were his retainers at that point in time. And that the ruler, I mean, like everything I said in that video makes sense, but I don't know if it's gonna end up being true. I just think it's gonna be one of those things that Oda just overlooks. You think Marco's gonna stop getting nerfed? Yeah, I think Marco's gonna make a big comeback into the series at some point. It could still come true, Doctor. I'm just not expecting it. Oh, Sage came back. So I've been thinking about fate and destiny in One Piece. What's your take? Is Luffy coming in at the right time by chance, or is his destiny? Me and Christian fight tooth and nail on this. Is that even the right expression? Whatever. I think it's all destiny, Sage. I think the entirety of One Piece, much like many other shonen stories, is one about destiny. It follows archetypical themes, especially with hero stories about being the chosen one. Luffy is the chosen one. No doubt about that. As there's too many things going for the narrative at that. Shouts to BD Lot 50K. That's right. Shouts to my boy Brago. Real G. Is Nami a D? I think Nami is a D. She doesn't have one, but I think she is a D. I think it will be very important in the future arcs of the series. Maybe it's a parallel between Luffy and Alabasta, how Vivi is sort of subordinate to him and Odin was though. Wait, what's this in reference to, Dylan? I think it's a possibility that Vegapunk is going to be one of the last antagonists in the story. Also, I just can't see it happening. I don't know. I don't get that impression. I might stuck on my chair. I don't get the impression from Vegapunk that he's going to be an antagonist. Maybe it's weird for me to think this, but I think Vegapunk just got like the rough end of the stick from being captured, from being the rogues. Because like there had to be a reason he was running away, doing science with the rest of Judge and probably Frankie's parents, shit like that. I like Scooby Doo. Yeah, Scooby Doo's solid, man. That's right, Yak. What's your favorite movie? Oh, singular movie? Yeah. What? I don't know if I have a singular favorite movie. There's so many good ones. Silence of the Lambs. I like Troy quite a bit. Seven. Go Black. Exorcist. Exorcist 3. Die Hard's a classic. Do you believe Greenbit was Emerald Island, or we've yet to see it? Roger's Base is very adamant that it was Greenbit. Maybe it's God's Valley, and that's why it's a legend. No, I think Emerald City is an actual place. Actual place. Do you believe we'll get the full names of all of the major characters in One Piece that we haven't gotten yet, i.e., Nami, Usopp, Shanks? Most of them probably not, Jay. I think some of them that have the precedent of their names being somewhat important, we will find out. But for the most part, no. Shanks has the potential. Usopp, not so much. I don't think Usopp's actual name and lineage, unless it's connected with Noland to some degree, would be important. But Nami and Shanks, I do put importance in their name at this point in time. Now that the rock stuff is being brought out into more definition. Not exactly sure where I was going with that. At least you admit it, Dylan. Are you a Tarantino fan? Kill Bill? Oh yeah, Kill Bill. Yeah, yeah. If so, have you ever seen Natural Born Killers? If not, that is my favorite film. Natural Born Killers. Let me. Not ringing a bell. Natural Born. I have not seen this. Have you read Claymore? Ooh, yeah, I love Claymore. Wishy-washy ending, but Claymore is a good series. I greatly enjoyed Claymore. Saving Private Ryan. Not gonna lie, I watched Saving Private Ryan when I was very, very young, but I was basically traumatized by one of the scenes in there when I was a kid. It just rubbed me like it's a really good scene, but as a kid, I was just like, oh my god, I can't watch this. And that's whenever they're wrestling with the knife. That scene. Mm, that is a rough scene, man. But that movie is fucking godly. Dark Knight is also a masterpiece. You think some Devil Fruiters don't have awakenings? I mean, theoretically, every single devil fruit should have an awakening, but it's all up to the matter of like, is Oda going to account for every devil fruit's awakening? Probably not. It's only the ones that he really wants to matter that are going to have awakenings. Um, but with Law's fruit being awakened, kind of already is to a degree because the environment becomes his operating table. Please watch. Really good. I believe it. I might have to go ahead and bookmark this page. Shout out to the Godfather 1 and 2. Amazing movies. Amazing movies. Best films of all time. Ooh, Taxi Driver. Yeah, that's a good one. Godfather, Taxi Driver, Singing in the Rain, Pulp Fiction, Raging Bull. That's another good one. Jaws, another classic. Doctor Strange Love and How I Learned to Stop Loving the Bomb. Amazing movie. Goodfellas, classic. Blade Runner, classic. Oh, The One Who Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, classic. Shawshank Redemption, godly. Clockwork Orange, godly. Good, Bad, and the Ugly, top tier. Have I read Christian's webcomic? Not yet. I have it opened as a tab. I just haven't gotten to it yet. The Immortality Surgery is Awakening, I think, Dritz. It could be. Could be. What movies he got here? Oh, Annie Hall. No, that's a good movie. That's a good movie. I talk about movies, just we seem to have similar tastes. I mean, I like a lot of the older movies and I like a lot of the present movies. But my dad is an older movie buff. Citizen Kane, that's a good movie. Battle Royale, another good movie. Will Tom meet the Straw Hats? I mean, technically, she's already been there with the Straw Hats. They just haven't acknowledged her existence. Are you one of those with tons of tabs open? No, I mean, I have two monitors and I have 5 tabs open on each monitor. So, not that many, really. On the Waterfront, amazing movie. It's a Wonderful Life, another amazing movie. Apocalypse Now, good movie. Lord of the Rings trilogy, that's a goat. Raiders of the Lost Ark, obviously. Rocky, To Kill a Mockingbird is actually a pretty good movie. Oh, Patton. Patton's a good movie too. Watch Patton. I like Ted 2. I haven't seen Ted 1. But like the Percy Jackson book series, I have not read them. Oh, Platoon. Platoon was another rough movie watching growing up. I mean that one definitely was a shock to me. Braveheart, Dances with Wolves, Jurassic Park. So many good movies. Oh, Goodfellas. Oh, it's great. Fargo, Shane, Green Mile, great. Band of Brothers, hell yeah. Why do the shots rarely use the Gallon cannon? I don't think it's actually that useful. You have to be with your ship near the place to use it. And I mean, also it's very very situational. Let me see what's it. Oh, Shining, yeah, amazing. The Last Jedi is a prime example of how to not subvert expectations. Yeah, Last Jedi sucked dick. Sucked big D. Pulp Fiction, Goaty. Good Will Hunting, another great movie. Ooh, The Great Dictator with Charlie Chaplin. Another another classic. And oh, so many good movies. You missed your window. I think Percy Jackson is definitely a young adult book series through and through. Yeah, my young adult books were Terry Brooks and R.A. Salvatore. So I grew up reading those guys. So definitely missed my chance, as you said. Have I watched Scooby Doo on Zombie Island? I have not. It's also the one thing you don't want to see happen in one above everything else. Uh, it would have to be Kaido being ridiculous to beat so mind numbing dumb. Big Mom. Oh my god. Big Mom as a plot device to nerf Kaido so that he could be defeated would absolutely grind my gears into oblivion, especially if they both died. I would kill myself. But yeah, definitely up there. Edward Scissorhands. Edward Scissorhands is actually a good movie. Heroes of Olympus. I have not read Heroes of Olympus. Old Godzilla films are my favorites. I actually like Godzilla 2000. I know that's like a sin, but I actually liked Godzilla 2000 growing up. Jumanji with Robin Williams, that was a good movie. Speaking of Robin Williams, my favorite Disney film is Hercules. And my best girl, best princess for me is also Megara. Love Megara. Love the Hercules film. That's my favorite Disney. I have not seen Ted 2. Will we see Snake Man? Probably. Mm. Any Christopher Nolan movie films? Dark Knight. Do I have any hope for future Marvel films? Anything could happen, but it's just not going to be the same for me. I think they kind of peaked for a bit. What if Momo landed the killing blow on Kaido? This would be like Boruto beating Momo. What the fuck is that alien's name? That gay ass alien? The Momoshiki or something? What other powers will Luffy have? I'm assuming at some point in time Luffy will get advanced Conqueror's Haki. Batman star Michael Keaton. I've seen those ones. Land Before Time. I have seen The Land Before Time. Yep. Same with Treasure Island. Osmosis Jones. I know it's not a Disney one, but I don't. I don't think it's a Disney one. It's like is it Pixar or something. Wally. Wally's top tier as well. Remember the Titans. Good movie. Good movie. I have not seen Joker. Boruto the Goat. Up is an elite movie. Yeah, Up is amazing. Do I like Teen Titans? Yeah, Teen Titans was actually a really good show. I'm just looking at right now. I'm looking at the character list for characters that I want to include in a potential story I want to make. Characters. Oh yeah, Boondocks are amazing. Have I seen Stampede? I have not, but I know it essentially. I know the main plot for Stampede as original characters. Well, the thing is, right now it's like the way I originally had the structure of my story planned. I'm kind of doubting. Like I don't really know how I want to go about it because right now I have like a general outline of kind of what I want to do, but the details are a bit hazy, and I don't really know from a writing standpoint what would be better to do and how I want to write the story because it's kind of like a two-parter. Um, but I've been debating if it would just be better to start from part two and have there be like a flashback that recaps the events of part one. But there's Have I seen Man on Fire? I have seen Man on Fire. No Pokemon around here, guys. I was not a big Pokemon fan growing up. I replaced Pokemon with Fire Emblem growing up. Do I see Mihawk dying by the end of the series? I actually don't. I think Mihawk will be alive. Sage, have you seen Infinity Train? It's a Cartoon Network show and it's trippy and dark. I have not. The only dark and trippy Cartoon Network show I've seen is Courage the Cowardly Dog. Also, Sage, since you're here, um, actually, I might hit you up in DM, Sage, because I've been talking with other girls that I know in the community about what they want from female characters, because I have two main prolific female characters in the story that I have fabricated. And I'm not sure how you would feel about it, at least from your perspective. Do I think Farnes could die protecting Casca in the final arc? Ooh, wow. Well, it's possible, Sen, but I'm honestly I don't know. Maybe it's foolish for me to think Farnes and Shark are off limits. Yeah, DM me. Yeah, that's why I thought because the way I wanted to connect these two female characters is that I kind of wanted them to both kind of complement each other in their inadequacies, where like the things they aren't good at, by the time they meet each other in the story, that's like the moment where they kind of take the best parts of each other, use to build themselves up from whenever they reach rock bottom. Because I want to have both characters reach rock bottom at some point in time in the series. Um, but my overall idea for like what I consider, I haven't decided yet this to be the main heroine of the series. I'm kind of intrigued in the possibility for it, but it might be a little bit controversial to do so. Can you zoom into my wanted poster? I want to bust. I mean, Cow and Chicken, Johnny Bravo. Johnny Bravo is amazing. Think it's plausible that Shiryu defeats Mihawk and Zoro has to defeat Shiryu to achieve his dream? No. Uh, not in that manner. It would be completely like it would be an insult to Zoro's dream to do it that way, as far as I'm concerned. Samurai Jack is GOAT. Body pillow win. The Nami body pillow should be here next week. Should be here. That is. It might be a good way to complete her character, Sen. Just with the drip. Actually, I might just end the stream here now so I can kind of go ahead and DM Sage this idea because I really want feedback on it and I won't know how to articulate it unless I actually write it out. So I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here so I can go ahead and slide into Sage's DMs. Not really, though. Your boy is all about respecting women in 2019. So I want to thank everyone for coming out, joining the stream, chilling by your boy while he was hanging out. Really enjoyed it. Thank you guys for all of the donations. I know it was basically one guy, my main man. I can't believe he donated $150, but thank you guys for dropping by, and you have a nice night or day. I will try to get an Akainu video up within the next 7 days. Peace out, all.